they saw not the elders because they were hid. Now, when the maids were gone forth, the two elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore, consent unto us and lie with us. So they like, hey, can't nobody see you. Can't nobody hear you. You know what I'm saying? Come have sex with us. All right. And cause hey, we've been watching you. We love you. And we want to have sex with you. Verse 21, it says, if thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. All right. So they like, all right, if you don't have sex with us, we going to say that we caught a young man with you, having sex with you that you was down with. You went and committed adultery. We going to tell on you and say that's why you sent your maids far from you, so you can have sex with this young man. All right. That's what we going to lie and say if you don't have sex with us. Verse 22. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side. For if I do this thing, it is death unto me. All right. Meaning if I have sex with you two guys, then the Lord gonna kill me because I committed adultery. All right. It says, and if I do it not, and if I don't have sex with you guys, I cannot escape your hands. Then you gonna lie and say I did this, and I'm still gonna be put to death. Verse 23, it says, is it better for me to fall in your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord? So she was like, wait a minute, is it better for me to, fall in your hands and not do it? See, I know the Lord got me, I ain't worried about, hey, you know what? I falling in your hands and you do what you gonna do, you gonna lie on me, than to sin in the sight of the Lord, than to actually have sex with you guys and then sin in the sight of the Lord. Verse 24, it says, with that, Susanna cried with a loud voice. All right. She cried with a loud voice. So she like, hey, you know what? Help, help. She crying out. All right. It says, and the two elders cried out against her. So when she cried out, they gonna be like, hey, they gonna cry out too. Like, hey, come get her. She was just a guy ran out. So they knew right then and there when she cried out, she wasn't with it. All right. They was gonna have to, do what they said do and lie and say, oh yeah, a man, a young man was sleeping with her and they, he ran and, woo, woo, woo. So verse 25, it says, then ran the one and opened the garden door. So when the servants of the house heard the cry in the garden, they rushed in at a privy door to see what was done unto her. But when the elders had declared their matter, the servants were greatly ashamed, for there was never such a report made of Susanna. So they did what they said they was going to do and lie to the servants. And the servants were like, who knew Susanna and coming to help, like, what's going on? And then they lied and, told them the lie. And they were ashamed, like, what? She did what? All right. So they was believing the two guys, the lie that they told. All right. So it says, verse 28, and it came to pass the next day when the people were assembled to her husband, Joachim, the two elders came also full of mischievous imagination against Susanna to put her to death, and said before the people, send for Susanna, the daughter of Chelcias, Joachim's wife. And so they sent. So she came with her father and mother, her children, and all her kindred. Now Susanna was a very delicate woman and beauteous to behold. And these wicked men commanded to uncover her face, for she was covered. that they might be filled with her beauty. Because that's what happened. You know, a woman covered her face that, hey, this is just for her husband to see her beauty. All right. Because once she was married, she was covered. All right. And so they commanded that she uncover her, that they might be filled with her beauty. Verse 33. Therefore, her friends and all that saw her wept. Then the two elders stood up in the midst of the people and laid their hands upon her head. And she, weeping, looked up toward heaven, for her heart trusted in the Lord. All right, her heart trusted in the Lord, which made me think of this scripture right here. All right, so she cried out. Once again, she cried out and she trusted in the Lord, because she knew that, hey, if she did that thing with them two, the Lord gonna kill her. But if she didn't, they were gonna lie on her and then have her killed anyway. But she trusted in the Lord that the truth would come out, that she would get justice. All right, she trusted in the Lord. Okay, so this is Sirach chapter 2 and 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, all right, to do what's right, to forsake this present evil world, all right, to forsake your flesh, all right, and come and have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right, and wait on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and not be engulfed with this present evil world, all right, and you separate yourself from this present evil world, and you crying out, and you speaking the truth, all right. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right. Because you're going to be tempted by your flesh. All right. By these demons, by this world and the dainties that they set before you. OK, that your flesh is actually going to like. But we're not our flesh. Right. So when we come to serve the Lord, we got to prepare our soul for temptation. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. If you're enduring something that ain't fun. It don't feel good. All right. Those afflictions, you're enduring them. All right. It says, and make not haste in the time of trouble. All right. Deal with it, because the Lord got you. All right. If you have faith and trust in him. Verse 3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. See, that's when we're going to get increased in our last end. All right. See, but for the time being, we got to go through what we got to go through. We got to go through this spiritual fire. OK. Verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. So we have to go through all these things, not only for our punishment because we disobeyed the Lord, all right, but also for our moral improvement, for our learning, all right. It says, verse 6, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. All right. She, just like Susanna, she ordered her way aright and she trusted in the Lord. All right. Even though she was being brought to a lower state by being lied on. Right. So verse 7, it says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Wait for his mercy. Right. And go not aside lest ye fall. Go not aside. You got to go on that straight gate. All right. Go not aside, like we was reading in that second address, because you go aside, it's on the right hand, it's a fire, and on the left, a deep water. You go aside, you either burn or you drown. All right. It says, verse 8, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. You do what's right, your reward will not fail. It says, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Verse 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? All right, look at this story of old. All right, because it says, look at the generations of old. We reading in the history of Susanna, this was a generation of old. So we look at that and say, she trusted in the Lord. She kept her integrity. She did what's right, even though she could have fell into their hands and they wind up having her killed for allegedly committing adultery. All right, because lying on her because she didn't sleep with them. Okay, she trusted in the Lord. So verse 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? No, the answer is no. All right, it says, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Also again, no, the answer is no. It says, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in the time of affliction. All right, he's going to save before you fall off the cliff. All right, you're going to be afflicted, but before you succumb to that affliction, the Lord going to help you. All right, verse 12, it says, woe be unto fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. All right, you can't go two ways. You can't be about this world and about trying to serve the Lord. All right, you can't do both. Okay, it's verse 13. It says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. All right, so when the Lord come back with that judgment, you're not going to be defended by his blood if you was about this present evil world. All right? You're not going to be defended by Yahweh Hashem. You're not going to be defended by Yahweh Shai and covered by his blood if you're not crying out. All right? And having faith and showing your faith by your works, the way you think, the way you live. Right? It says, verse 14, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? All right, we got to wait on the Lord. All right, it's not, this is like it says, we don't have an inheritance with this present evil world. It's temporal anyway. All right, so you got to endure, be patient, wait on the Lord, go through all the things that you got to go through, and know that the Lord got you, that you ain't gonna fall off the edge. All right, he got you. If you trust in him, you doing what's right, you separating yourself from this present evil world, all right, the Lord got you. All right, so going back to the history of Susanna. All right, it's only one chapter, so verse 35 again. It says, and she weeping looked up toward heaven, and her heart trusted in the Lord. And the elder said, as we walked in the garden alone, this woman came with two maids and shut the garden doors and sent the maids away. Then a young man who was there hid came unto her and lay with her. Then we that stood in a corner of the garden, seeing this wickedness, ran unto them. Here it is, just lying. All right. Verse 39, it says, and when we saw them together, the man we could not hold, for he was stronger than we, and opened the door and leaped out. But having taken this woman, we asked who the young man was, but she would not tell us. These things do we testify. All right. So that's what they kept what they said they was going to do if she didn't have sex, and they lied on her. All right. If she didn't have sex with them, they lied on her because she didn't. She kept her faith. She kept her integrity. All right. She didn't want to fall into the hands of the living power. All right. So she fell into their hands and the lie that they were going to tell on her. All right. Verse 41, it says, then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and judges of the people. All right. So the people, the assembly believed them because they were these ancient judges. All right. But they were wicked. All right. But they didn't think so because, hey, they were put in that position. It says, so they condemned her to death. It says then, verse 42, then Susanna cried out with a loud voice, because the judgment was that, yep, she got to be put to death. She's going to be put to death. So when she heard that judgment, she cried out with a loud voice and said, "O everlasting God, thou knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be. Thou knowest that they have borne false witness against me, and behold, I must die. Whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me." And the Lord heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth whose name was Daniel, who cried with a loud voice, "I am clear from the blood of this woman." Then all the people turned them toward him and said, "What meanest thou by these words that thou hast spoken?" So he, standing in the midst of them, said, "Are ye such fools, ye sons of Israel, that without examination or knowledge of the truth ye have condemned a daughter of Israel? Return again to the place of judgment, for they have borne false witness against her. Wherefore, wherefore all the people turned again in haste, and the elders said unto him, "Come, sit down amongst us, and show it us, seeing God hath given thee the honor of an elder." So they were like, "Okay, well, let me see what you're talking about, Daniel." All right. It says, "Then Daniel said unto them, Put these two aside, one far from another, and I will examine them." So when they were put asunder one from another, he called one of them. He said unto them, "O thou that art waxen old in wickedness." He said to this liar, "O thou that art waxen old in wickedness, now thy sins which thou hast committed aforetime are come to light. For thou hast pronounced false judgment, and hast condemned the innocent, and hast let the guilty go free. Albeit the Lord saith, The innocent and righteous shall thou not slay. Now then, if thou hast seen her, tell me under what tree thou sawest them companying together." Who answered, "Under a mastic tree." And Daniel said, "Very well, thou hast lied against thine own head, for even now the angel of God have received the sentence of God to cut thee in two." So he put him aside and commanded to bring the other, and said unto him, "O thou seed of Canaan, and not of Judah, beauty have deceived thee, and lust hath perverted thine heart." All right. Lust hath perverted thine heart. And that's what's happening to our people. The lust of their flesh and to live their best life in a present evil world have perverted their heart, have perverted their minds. All right. That they down with this present evil world. The same thing going on now with our people. Okay. It says, verse 57, "Thus have ye dealt with the daughter of Israel, and they for fear company with you, but the daughter of Judah would not abide your wickedness. Now therefore tell me, under what tree didst thou take them companying together?" Who answered, "Under a home tree." So the one answered unto a mastic tree, and then another said, "Oh, they was under a home tree." Then said Daniel unto him, "Well, thou hast also lied against thine own head, for the angel of God waited with the sword to cut thee in two, that he may destroy you." All right. So it's about 5 more verses left, but they ultimately got put to death. All right. Because they lied. And of course, Susanna, all right, she of course lived. All right. And the truth came out. She got justice. Okay. She was vindicated. That was the word I'm looking for. All right. She was vindicated because she kept her faith. She kept her integrity. All right. She didn't she didn't do the wickedness. All right. That, hey, if you don't do this, you're going to be put to death anyway. Nah, she was like, nah, I'd rather go ahead and keep my faith, keep my integrity. All right. So that story, all right, the point is that she cried out. All right, when those two wicked men, all right, of Israel, all right, lied on her, all right, and said this, that, and the other, she cried out instead of being with it. So now we must cry out, because remember, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, we can't trust. It says, trust not thou enemies, roughly paraphrasing. All right, trust not in oppression, the scriptures also say. Okay, we have to cry out. That's why in Psalms, it tells us to rid our people from the hand of the wicked. Do justice, tell the truth. All right, warn the people what's coming. All right, if you down with this present evil world, all right, this is the judgment you're gonna get. But if you separate yourself from this present evil world, all right, and first and foremost in your mind, be not conformed to this world, all right, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, as it is written. Okay, but when you do that, now you come to serve the Lord. Now prepare your soul for temptation. You're going to go through all manner of affliction, because you're going against the grain. You're going against what this world said. But we got to have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, just like Susanna did, that the Lord got us. He going to take care of us. Even though we got to go through all these afflictions and chastisements and, being lied on. All right, because they're going to come against us and say, oh, yeah, they're a hate group. They're a cult. They did they're a terrorist group and this, that, and other thing. We're going to have to suffer that. All right. See, but we trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that he going to vindicate us. All right. We not with this present evil world. We make our body a living sacrifice and go through all the things that we have to go through. We trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that he's going to do what he said that he was going to do. All right. Which was hold us up. All right. And then ultimately save us. All right. Save us. Okay. Just like Susanna was saved for keeping her faith, keeping her integrity. All right. See, this was written aforetime. It was written for our learning. Okay. So let me see. So now I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. Deuteronomy chapter 22. And I'll start at 23. It says, if a damsel, that is a virgin, be betrothed unto a husband. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna read it and then go into these other scriptures that I got to give the sense of the nature of the video, of the lesson. So it says Deuteronomy 22 and 23. If a damsel, that is a virgin, be betrothed unto a husband, excuse me, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. All right, so she cried out. Now, I'm going to read it again and go get some scriptures. So verse 22, it says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband. All right. Now, Jeremiah 3:14. It says, turn, which is the Hebrew word shawab, which means return. O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you. All right. I am married. The Lord said that he is married unto us. And in this Isaiah 54:5, it says, for thy maker is thy husband. The Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole earth shall he be called. All right. So he said that thy maker is thy husband. All right. The Redeemer of Israel. All right. And he says, turn, O backsliding children. All right. The children of Israel, you Israelites. All right. Saith the Lord, for I am married unto you. We're married unto our father, Yahweh. All right. We're the woman and he's our husband. All right. So going back to this Deuteronomy 22 and 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband. So this damsel right now, we're in this case that I'm speaking, is Israel. All right. We're the Israelites. We're this damsel. We're this virgin betrothed to our husband, Yahweh. All right. It says, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not. All right. The damsel, because she cried not. All right. So in this case that I'm speaking of right now, us Israelites, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you're not crying out, then you're going to be put to death. All right. Because in this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Now, chapter 2:1, it says, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of man there is no remedy. So right now, they saying in the death of man is no remedy. You're gonna die. All right. So this is the ungodly's mind. All right. Remember, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, to the ungodly. So I'm gonna jump down to this verse 6. It says, come on now, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part in our voluptuousness. Look up the word voluptuousness. All right. And it's going about gratifying the flesh. All right. It says, let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. All right. Now, this is the ungodly saying, hey, we gonna die ultimately. And because of that, let us go ahead and live our best life. Let us have fun. Let us do all the things that our flesh want to do. All right. He says, because this is our portion. And this present evil world, this temporal world, is their portion. All right. To live it up. But the Israelites, we should not be wanting a part of their portion. We should not be trying to live our best life in a temporal kingdom. OK, because this is for the wicked right now. All right. To fill themselves with costly wine and crown themselves with rosebuds, and, you know, don't go out without their part of their voluptuousness, and, you know, speedily use the creatures as in youth, you know, live as do as thou wilt, and just have fun, get you a bucket list. All right. This is what they're all about. And this is what they teach you. All right. See, but now that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and it says that in that second address that I read, that we're also given into their hands, this is what they teach you. So right now you should be crying out, all right, as opposed to not crying, all right? Because if you don't cry, matter of fact,